Welcome to the Barrett channel and welcome back to another video, people. So we are in Suzhou and we're at an area where there is a nice lake. So we're going to take a walk around the lake while we're doing this sort of walk and talk video for you. Now, we uploaded a video recently when we were in Chongqing and we had a large amount of comments about the amount of food that was left on the table. And as some of you may know, there's been a directive from the Chinese government called empty plate here recently. And this has sort of kicked up a lot of speculation in the Western media that China is short of food. I don't actually think China is short of food. The recent flooding this year has actually caused a lot of crops to be damaged. But China have a lot of strategic stocks of staple foods, so I think at this point that is not an issue, but the culture of wasting food here is quite a big issue, and I think Oliver has a couple of things he would like to sort of say about that.
It's definitely something that was noticeable when I first came to China, that it's kind of a normal thing when you go out for dinner in China that food will be wasted, and I do think that's quite normal in a lot of places all around the world. However, I definitely noticed a considerable difference coming here from England. Now that's for a few reasons I do want to touch on. Firstly, the culture of eating is very different. You know, in the Western world, you each have your own plate of food, and the chef kind of knows how much one person can eat, right? So they do enough for one person. Whereas here, when you go to a new restaurant, the dishes can be, they're all shared, and they can either be small or they can be big. So it's kind of hard to know how much food to order. So that's definitely one thing that's worth taking into consideration. Secondly, I think especially when you go out for like a business meal or with people who you are the guests, right? It's kind of the done thing for them to want to order a lot.
Yeah, I think that's because they probably worry that they want to, because you're their guest, they want to make sure you've got enough to eat, and they're kind of like almost worried that if there's not enough, it doesn't look good.
There's definitely that, but then there's also the, and I've heard this from many Chinese people, this is not just my own speculation, that it's kind of a way to show face. You know, they can provide you with all of this, you know, and that's kind of a way of showing respect to the guest, I guess. But yeah. Very, very many times I've gone out for a big banquet with several people, and probably 30 to 40% of the food has been eaten, and it's pretty obvious that it's way too much to order. And I am very much a person, I really don't like wasting food, so even when there's too much on the table, I will overfeed myself to try and eat as much as I can, because I don't like to waste food. So I do think it's an issue. And one thing I want to say as well, it seems that from our comment section, it's something that Chinese are becoming much more and more aware of, yeah. As time goes on. So I guess this is something that is in the yeah. You know, process of changing.
I think it's different as well. I mean, there were a lot of comments on that video as well about people, especially actually, you know, it was sort of people from Guangdong more so. They will take stuff home. Now, I've never seen that happen when you go for a business meal, but I've seen it happen numerous times. If you go out for a meal with a family and the people there know each other, they will tend to box stuff up and take it home. But so I've never experienced that with in a business environment, and maybe this new initiative will encourage that a little bit more, because it is not good how much food is wasted.
You know, one thing that's probably slightly different in terms of food waste from the Western etiquette of eating, the Western way of eating compared to the Chinese way, is we probably throw a lot more food away straight out of the fridge in England.
Oh yeah, you look at...
Whereas here, they don't really store that much food in the fridge. They will cook it fresh and then it gets wasted from the table.
Yeah, you've only got to look at Christmas time for that. I mean, you look at Christmas time certainly in the UK, people overbuy huge amounts of food, and there's loads of it's seen in the bin, you know, 3 or 4 days after Christmas. That hasn't even been opened.
No doubt it's something that is a problem all around the world and needs to be addressed in every country. But I do think I did notice, like I said at the start, a considerable sort of uptick in that when I came to China first off. And then let's just touch on the
Well, hang on a bit before we do. I wonder if it's something in the culture as well, because, you know, many years ago China had a famine, and food was very short, and it's only in, let's say, more recent years. When I mean recent years, I'm not meaning like 2 or 3, I'm meaning like decades, that food has become abundant. And I wonder if it's like they're trying to sort of prove when they go out with you to eat that, look, we don't have a problem, you know, sort of feeding you kind of thing.
And that goes hand in hand with the thing of them wanting to buy expensive things for guests on the table as well. So it's like I said before, it's kind of a way of showing face and respect to the guests that you're hosting.
So yeah, just going back to what I said earlier on about Western media, you know, that there was this clean plate initiative, which is a great idea. You know, it is good to encourage people not to waste food, and I really hope that many Chinese people see this and act on it. But it was quite interesting. There was a particular journalist named Eva Doe, who I will put a link, I think he was on a Twitter article, I'll put a link to that. But she was sort of saw this and straight away writing articles for, I think it's either the Washington Post or one of the US newspapers, that, oh, you know, there's a food crisis in China, there's a big food shortage. And she actually got quite attacked on Twitter for that, because obviously people who are living here will know that is not the case. You know, I've not seen any shortage of food, and I've not experienced anything like she was saying, where you go into restaurants and they're giving only sort of not full portions and that, because they're trying to conserve food. I think the initiative is just an initiative that, you know, the leadership here in China realise that there is a food wastage issue, and they're just trying to address that, which is a very sensible thing to do.
I think that's a lot of experts as well. They do say as the population is growing, they do foresee in 10 or 20 years that there could be a bit more of a food shortage worldwide. So it's kind of an early initiative to help prevent against that.
Yeah, I would expect, I don't know, but it's probably a certain generation here as well, in that if you look at older people here, in their times food was a lot more short, so they're more careful, and I think that message is now resonating with the younger people here. So it might be those kind of people who are sort of that middle-aged people who've grew up where food hasn't been short. You know, they've become more wealthy, they've had more money to spend, so in that sort of cycle they have possibly become more wasteful. So,
well, that's our take on the food shortage here in China. Hopefully you did enjoy this walk around. I want to know where it's called.
It would be interesting to...
Hold on, let me get where it's called, because I know where it's called. Ligongdi. So that's our take on the food issue situation here in China at the moment. Hopefully you did enjoy this walk with us around Ligongdi in Suzhou. It's a very beautiful area, so, you know, hopefully you enjoyed it. Please do drop a like on this video if you did, and comment down below what your opinion on this situation is.
I'd be really interested to sort of get your take on it, whether you think there's food wastage in China or you're doing anything about it, you know.
If you want to join the member community, you can do so by clicking the join button down below, and it will be a massive contribution to the channel. So thank you in advance, and we will see you in the next video. For now, Take care.
Take care.